Hey everyone, Stephanie Robilio here, licensed clinical social worker, published author, and the chief clinical officer at Agape Behavioral Healthcare, and you are tuning into the Stephanie Robilio podcast, your go-to resource for transforming your mental health and overall wellness. Hi everyone, and welcome back. Happy 2025. Another year is here, and I am so stoked to have the space today to talk to you about a topic that stops so many of us before we even begin, and that is getting started, whether you are working on a goal, working towards a dream, maybe even something bigger like a vision, maybe it's a career project, maybe it's even a passion project, maybe it's a weight loss journey, whatever it is, more often than not, most of us stop before we even start. And so I have to just keep it really real with you guys because it ties into today's episode. I am literally standing in my kitchen right now, recording this episode from my phone while staring at my amazing, beautiful daughter who's taking a nap in my living room. And I'm literally standing here. My phone's about to die, so I have to be plugged in to the wall, and I can't go to my office to record because she's sleeping, and it's a whole thing, right? And so the point is that life doesn't have to look perfect in order to start. The day doesn't have to be perfect in order to start. Sometimes all it takes is standing in your kitchen and saying, you know what, now's the now that I'm going to do this. And I know for me, I've been saying that I want to record another episode, and my intention is to truly record one once a month this year. If it happens, amazing, but that's my intention. And so today was a day that I was like, if I don't just do this now, I'm not going to get it done. And y'all know how it goes. Before you know it, it'll be February, and then I wouldn't have had recorded. And so I'm just here to remind you all that whatever it is you want to do, just start. As a mental health professional, I've seen firsthand how perfectionism, fear, and limiting beliefs hold people back from reaching their full potential. And I know I was once that person. If you've read my most recent book, Unpack Your Bags, I am so vulnerable in that book. I self-disclose so much about my relationship with perfectionism and fear and how it literally had me crippled at one point in my life. And so I see it all the time. It's the reality that we have this idea that things have to be so perfect in order to start. And that's not the case, right? The key to achieving anything is actually quite simple. It's just about starting. And so I want to today dive in to why people get stuck and really unpack this and talk about how to stay focused and what it takes to really overcome those mental roadblocks that we all face. So the power of starting, right? The big question, why do so many of us struggle to start? To me, the answer is completely rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear that we're not good enough. But here's the truth. Fear is just a feeling, right? And it's also just this idea we have in our mind. It's this narrative we create that we're going to be perceived as stupid, or we might not be good enough, or what if it doesn't sound good enough, or what if we're judged? But none of it is a fact. Just because you think something doesn't make it true, and just because you feel something doesn't make it a fact, right? Thoughts aren't always true, and feelings aren't always factual. So waiting for the perfect moment or until you feel ready will only keep you stuck. And again, unless you're actually stuck, meaning you can't physically move, then even this idea of being stuck is nothing more than just something we've made up in our mind. And so let's flip the script for a second. What if the act of starting is what makes you ready? Think about that. What if taking that first step of action is actually what makes you ready? Confidence does not come just from sitting on the sidelines hoping, right? You can't just hope. Hope is not enough to achieve your goals and your dreams and your desires. You must take action, and that action, daily action, consistent action is what's going to lead you to achieving the outcomes you want in your life. And so if you're just sitting there waiting for something to happen, it's not going to happen. Just as if you're waiting for life to be completely perfect, everything to fall into alignment, for you to feel the best that you can possibly feel to start, you're probably not going to start. Maybe you will eventually, but you're going to waste a lot of time along the way. And so every single small step you take forward builds momentum. It doesn't matter how big or small the step is. Every single step is a step. They all count, and they all create momentum. And that momentum builds over time. And eventually, you're in the energy, and then you got it going on, right? You feel motivated because action comes before motivation. And that's what allows you to continue to stay in a place of taking steps that are going to serve and support you. So think about this. If you took one imperfect step every day, you'll be 365 steps closer to your goal in a year, right? Think about that. It doesn't matter what the step looks like, but if every single day you took one step, that means you are a total of 365 days closer to whatever it is that you most want. And the truth is, you might actually receive what you want way sooner than the 365 days, simply because you are in action. And every time you find the courage to work towards what it is that you want, you send a powerful message to the universe saying, universe, I am ready. I am open to receive. I have the courage to show up, even though things don't feel that great, even though it's not perfect, whatever perfect is, right? I'm still choosing to show up. And that energy is so powerful. And the universe is always saying yes to us. So if you say you can do it, the universe is like, yes, you can. If you say you can't do it, the universe is like, yes, you're right? Because the universe is always going to match the energy that you're in. So imagine if you're waking up and you are showing up with the energy of working towards what it is that you want, the universe is going to align and match you. And eventually, small becomes a little bit bigger and then bigger and then bigger. And next thing you know, it's good and then it's great and then it's really great, right? Like that's the idea of momentum, is that things naturally unfold and evolve, but you have to start. And so for me, I have made a conscious effort to literally ditch perfectionism. And I have to thank my daughter, because way before she came, I told myself, listen, like we all know life can't be perfect. And when you have a child, everyone told me like, your life is so orderly and everything's so organized and you have all this structure and like, just be prepared. And they weren't kidding. And so before she came, I really set the intention to create space in my life and to give myself permission to live in the mess. And I'm still living in the mess. And I have to tell you, it is the most freeing experience. I am totally embracing the fact that sometimes the days don't go as planned, and I trust that the day goes exactly as it's supposed to. And there is such liberation in that. This idea that we are going to control every single aspect of our life, like we have to ditch it. We have to ditch it. All it's doing is blocking us from receiving the goodness that every single day has to offer. That doesn't mean every single day is great or that things don't go wrong. Of course, there's always speed bumps along the way. But what I have found is when you really do the work, the inner work to create a flexible nervous system, and you have a flexible mindset, you will find that you will feel free. I know from firsthand experience, I was once that person, very type A. I wanted everything to go exactly as I had it mapped out in my brain, because all those conditions made me feel good, right? If the day goes XYZ, then I can feel good. But what a powerless position to be in. I put all my power in the outside world. There's something so powerful when you say, today's the day I'm going to reclaim power over the way I think, over the way I feel, or how I respond to my feelings, and how I show up in the world. I'm reclaiming power. So join me right now and just simply say that I am reclaiming power over every single area of my life. Like, get rid of the perfectionist pattern. Get rid of all the conditions that people, places, and things have to be a certain way in order for you to feel good. You might be sitting here saying, well, how do I just get rid of it? Like, I can't just control, alt, delete, and you're right. The first step is to be aware. If you are aware that you have been trying to control every area of your life, and if you are aware that you have not taken that first step of action because you want your life to be perfect before you start, that is the first step. Practice that awareness. And every time those limiting beliefs show up for you, create change in the moment, right? You have to overcome those limiting beliefs. And so let's just use the example. If your mind says, well, I'm not smart enough, or I'm too old, or what if I fail? Those beliefs are just story your mind is telling you based on past experiences, maybe even societal expectations or fear of the unknown. But guess what? You have the power to rewrite those stories. And you do that in the moment it shows up for you. So start by challenging the narrative. Instead of saying, I can't do this, reframe it to, I'm learning how to do this. Or if your mind says, what if I fail? Okay, what if I succeed, right? What if I sound stupid? What if I sound really smart? Right? There's always going to be an opposite possibility to what your mind is telling you. So reframe in the moment. That's how we overcome negative beliefs, by practicing awareness. When you catch yourself falling into that thinking, reframe right there. And remember, the only true failure, in my opinion, is not trying at all, right? If you don't ever try, if you're the person who just sits on the sidelines of life, how will you ever know? Maybe you're the best player out there. Maybe your brain is actually the brain that holds the secret sauce to create some incredible change, not only in your lives, but in the lives of others. Like what I have found through my journey is that it is a disservice to myself, to my family, to my friends, to my community, to my colleagues, my peers, to everybody that's in my circle, my network. It is a disservice, and certainly to the world, if I play small by not starting, by not taking action, right? Like, you're not the only one who has limiting beliefs. We all do. Even some of the greatest people who have made it to the quote unquote top, they once had limiting beliefs, and they might still. But here's the deal. The more you show up and take action, the more confident you will be. And the more confident you are, then the less you will have limiting beliefs, right? And if you do, it's okay. It's always okay to not feel okay 24/7. We're not designed to feel our best all the time. To me, success is really in the moments when we don't want to show up, we show up anyways. And remember, you get to decide what showing up looks like for you. If it's 5 minutes, great. If it's 2 minutes, amazing. If it's 20, great. Like, it doesn't matter the time. Just develop the habit of showing up, because consistency is far greater than only showing up here and there, because again, you will miss the opportunity to build momentum. But if you show up every single day for a moment at a time, that moment will build the momentum you need to succeed and achieve whatever it is you're working on or towards. And so the biggest factor is staying focused, right? We all have routines and responsibilities that we're trying to keep up with, especially in today's world. We're moving so fast. There are so many distractions, especially with social media at our fingertips. And so staying focused, your focus is your superpower. I know for me, I told myself this year that this is my year where I am moving at a pace that truly feels good to me. If something doesn't feel aligned, I'm saying no without explaining myself. If it feels aligned, then I'll say yes. But I am staying focused only on who and what matters most. I'm not allowing my mind to get distracted and waste time, because at the end of the day, we only have the moment we're in. And if we meet the moment with openness and readiness to do whatever it takes to reach the next level, then we are going to become our best. And if we become our best, that means we're going to feel our best. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, the way I feel is the most important thing in my life, the way I feel. Because when I feel good, everything else falls into place. I lived many years and I still have moments where I feel out of alignment. And every time I'm out of alignment, I have to remind myself that I have the power to change my focus, because wherever you place your attention is where you give energy. And wherever you give energy, that is where your life exists, right? And so if you're focusing on things that you don't like, then of course you're not going to feel good. If you're focusing on what you do like, then you have a really good chance at feeling good. And so don't forget, your focus is your superpower, and you are allowed to have boundaries. I told myself one of my non-negotiables this year is boundaries are my best friend. Like, I am protecting my peace, I am protecting my progress, and I am taking action towards all the things that I dream of. No more wasting time, no more wasting talent. And I'm sharing this with you to invite you to join me in this energy. No more wasting your time and no more wasting your talent. I watched this reel the other day and I just loved it. This guy was posing the question that you have to ask yourself: how much of your potential do you want to use in this life? How much? If you're only wanting to use 40%, then sure, go ahead. Waste 60% doing whatever it is that you do. But if you want to utilize 100% of your potential, which I know I surely do, then it's time to have like no BS, right? We have to really show up and be ready to take care of ourselves, prioritize our own needs, no more excuses, and start, because we are allowed to start in the mess. We can live in the mess. We can start when we don't have everything we need, right? Like, look at me. I'm literally standing here in my kitchen right now, recording a podcast on some app on my phone. Like, it's amazing what we can do when you put your mind to it. And so my true wish for you is that you realize how worthy you are, how meaningful your life is, and how you deserve to create the life you desire, remembering you are the only person who can create the life you desire, and you are so worthy of that. And so whether you feel ready or not, scared or prepared, please take that first step of action. Take it. You will not regret it. So here's to moving at a pace that feels good to us, prioritizing our needs, and turning all of our dreams into reality, taking one step at a time, starting now. Until the next time, so much love. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you found today's episode to be insightful and inspiring, drop me a review so together we can help the next person, and come connect with me on social at Stephanie Robilio and find all of my books on Amazon. Until the next episode, stay mindful and always remember the power that lives inside of you.